Hey YouTube, how's it going? Felix here. You join me inside my 2003 Mazda B2300 truck that I just purchased. I'm so excited to have this truck in my possession, and of course with any new purchase you've got to accessorize your new purchase, of course. So I've been spending the last week or so buying loads of accessories and new items for my Mazda B2300 just to make it the perfect old truck of my dreams. So join me on this video as I go through the installation of all these little accessories, just making the B2300 my perfect dream truck. Join me and I'll go through them one by one. Let's go. All right, so the first job we're going to be tackling here on the Mazda B2300 upgrade list is replacing the yellowed headlights. You can see these headlights, they're probably the original headlights. They're really yellowed and faded, not looking too great. You can see in the past someone has replaced these side lights here, the indicator lights. They've been replaced, so I'm going to upgrade the original headlights to some new ones. The annoying part about these on the Mazda B2300, and I'll show you on the replacement version I've got here, is that they have these little plastic prongs. Can you see that, which stick out from the lens? I believe that's part of the sort of manufacturing process where they injection mold these lenses, but it means that you won't really be able to wet sand these. Normally I'd just buy a headlight restoration kit and I'd wet sand the lenses and I just sort of sand them and make them new again. But with these ones, it's really tricky because of these prongs. I don't think you'd be able to get a good result. So the easiest option is just to replace them. And luckily they're really cheap. $60 each or $120 for the pair. So yeah, we're going to swap these over to some brand new ones. They even come with the bulbs pre-installed, and we'll see how easy it is. Okay, let's go. Okay, so I was definitely struggling there a little bit trying to replace this headlight. It is more difficult than I had thought, this job. Definitely more difficult. I think if you watch some of the videos online about people doing the Ford Ranger headlight replacement, they make it look really easy, but the Mazda B2300 is different and it is a bit more tricky on the Mazda. You have to remove these clips here, these metal clips. There are two of them on the top of the headlight, which attach onto this piece and this piece. This is this side, just to show you. They attach sort of behind this piece and this piece, which is fine. Then there is this one here, and this one is hidden, and you can't access it from above. You have to go underneath the car and then pinch this little clip here, and that will allow that to release. So that's one I was struggling with to get the headlight out. But now, even to get it back in, what you've got to do is you've got to set the depth correctly. And you do that by spinning these plastic anchors here on the metal rods. And that allows you to adjust the forwards and back of the headlight. That's actually really tricky because you have to use sort of trial and error. Honestly, there's no way to do it because I guess these aftermarket headlights are not exactly the same dimensions as the OEM headlights, which means you have to basically use trial and error. It's a real pain in the ass. You can use a 4mm, I think? Yeah, a 4mm socket on the end of these particular headlights right this, so you can actually use that to help you adjust without taking them out each time. But anyway, this is a sort of painful job, a little bit more tricky than I imagined. I'm going to finish it, and hopefully the second one will be much faster than the first one. Okay, finally we got it done. Wow. The headlight replacement on the Mazda B2300 is definitely a little bit more difficult than I was anticipating. It's just really awkward and difficult with these adjustable screws here. Also, getting off these little clips is really tricky. On the right-hand headlight, I actually broke the metal tab off the top of the clip because it was so sort of rusted in place. Just not a particularly easy job. I definitely give this like a 4 or 5 out of 10 difficulty in terms of sort of like exterior mods. Yeah, it's doable, but you've got to have a bit of patience, and I found it a little bit tricky. But let's check they work. Most important thing, right? There we go. I think they're all working good. Yeah, we'll do the very satisfying peel of the plastic off the front. Oh yeah, that's the most satisfying part, right? That's what it was all for. Yeah, as with all of these jobs, they're painful while you're doing them, but once they're done, it's beautiful. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, next job on the list is installing this. It is a different antenna, a much shorter antenna. As you can see, we've got this very long antenna currently here on the Ranger, this super tall antenna, and we're going to be replacing that with a short one, which might be slightly more aesthetically pleasing. Although I realize in my haste to order this thing that I got a carbon fiber one, which definitely doesn't really fit the aesthetics of the truck too much, but we should. Oh, that does come off. There we go. Should be okay. We'll see. If not, we can just replace it It was incredibly cheap. This thing was $4 the kit. So yeah, super cheap, but let's see how it goes. Okay, there you go. One carbon fiber antenna installed. Definitely shorter, definitely potentially slightly more aesthetically pleasing than the large antenna. I don't know, you tell me what you think. Not too bad. Okay, a couple of quick and easy little exterior modifications I've completed is installing a Kurt 2-inch towing ball here on the rear bumper. I know on the Ranger and the Mazda B2300 the rear bumper is only rated for very light duty towing, so yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to be towing like a massive trailer with this, but I thought I'd put the towing ball on there. Honestly, I think it looks really cool as well. I'm probably only ever going to use it for like little light trailers, but yeah, super easy to install. Just make sure you get the towing ball with the 1 3/4 inch bolt which fits through the hole there. The sort of standard ones with the bigger bolt will not fit, it's too big. You're going to need a giant socket for the bottom here, or potentially an adjustable wrench, and you're also going to need a tool to grab this from the top side so it doesn't spin round. I use this bigger Nipex pliers wrench. That's really easy to install. I think it actually looks awesome and really completes the look of the bumper there as well. Super cool. And then another very quick exterior upgrade I've just done as well is installing some new wiper blades. The wiper blades that were on here were completely shot and really old. Normally on my cars I put on the Bosch Icons, which I think are probably the best wiper blades on the market, but the Bosch Icons look sort of modern, and I thought that these, the Bosch Micro Edge, which are more sort of like a classic style wiper blade, you know, a little bit more retro. I think they fit the aesthetics here of the truck a little bit better, and they don't stand out too much. So yeah, I put two number 18s. They are 18s on both sides, two of those on here, and I think that looks awesome. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so one of the modifications I'm really excited about doing on the Mazda B2300 is upgrading to a new stereo with Bluetooth audio. I went with this in the end, the MVH S110BT from Pioneer. It's a $50 single DIN Bluetooth capable radio, which is going to make a massive difference. Super modern USB. It's just going to be much better. The original setup we've got here, AM FM radio only. It's super classic and vintage, but I do love having my own music in the car here, so I think I'm going to upgrade it. To do the upgrade, you're also going to need an adapter kit. I've got this one here from Shosh. Again, links to all the stuff in the description. This basically converts this radio here into a single DIN plus a cubby space, which is obviously much better and allows you to put a modern radio in its place. And then finally, you're also going to need an adapter harness. This one here is the Metra 1771. This is supposedly the correct adapter harness for the Ford Ranger / Mazda B2300 head unit. We're going to find out, and of course, once we figure out this is the correct adapter, we're going to need to solder this and make all these connections to the sort of adapter which came with the Pioneer. Okay, so let's get all that started. I'm going to see if I can remove the radio using these keys. If I can't, I'm going to end up taking the dash fascia off here with these 7mm bolts on the bottom. And let's get this thing out of here and get it modern. Okay, so the old radio bezel is out and the old dash thing here, super easy, honestly, nothing like a modern car, ridiculously easy. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to take apart the old radio here, take that out of the fascia, install the adapter, and just put it all back together, simple as that. We are going to make a note of this cable here, which is our adapter coming directly in from the original Ford harness, and we can see this is our adapter, and we want to make sure that they do fit, and look, they do. Okay, so we know we're on the right track, and to be honest, we can just check the wires here as well and make sure that we only connect the wires that we need from this adapter into our Pioneer adapter for our new radio. After we wire that all up and make those solder connections, we should be good to go. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so that's all complete. We've just taken out the factory radio from the dash piece here. We've installed this adapter and we've installed the Pioneer radio into this. You can see this is what it looks like from the back. It's actually super easy. This piece just clips in the adapter. Honestly, not a big deal at all. Really simple, and honestly, I think it looks really good. And then I made up the adapter harness. So this is the end that comes with the Pioneer radio, and this is the end which was the Metro adapter we bought. I just soldered these all up together. My truck doesn't have rear speakers, only front speakers, so I don't need the rear speaker wires, so I've taped those up. And basically all we gotta do is connect this thing together, and we should be good to go. And let's test it. Okay, so that's installed. It's looking really, really good in its place. Let's try the key in the ignition and see if the radio has power. There we go. It has power. Okay, setup. Geez. Yeah, language. Okay, the clock will set in a second. Quit. Let's just see, will it play any sound? Source. It plays sound. It's all good. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we had some good success with installing the new radio. Now I'm so excited for this. This thing looks like it's going to be really good. This is the Rampage Products center console, which is supposed to be put into cars with bench seating, such as this truck. And looking at it, I think it's going to fit really, really well. It just sits here in the middle, in the center of the two seats. The match, the color match, this is the charcoal color it comes in. The color match between the vinyl is really, really, really good. Honestly, it looks fantastic. Almost looks factory. And the most important thing, and the thing that I was worried about, is that this is going to impact the shifting of the manual transmission here. But if you look at this, it's fine. Like, it's absolutely fine. Honestly, it's almost better. So I'm super excited about the center console. It's going to give me so much extra storage space in the interior here. You've got all this space inside here. So this is really simple to install. All we're going to do is pass the lap belt through that little hook here in the bottom, and that should be it. Okay, let's do it. Okay, the center console is installed. Honestly, this sort of lap belt arrangement on the bottom is not the best, but it is a really, really, really good solution. It gives you a ton of extra storage space in the Ford Ranger or the Mazda B2300. Overall, I think it's a really good investment for 50 bucks. I think it's really good. The 2 extra cup holders is nice. You have 4 total cup holders, which is pretty luxurious. And you can store a load of crap in there. And it fits the interior really well. Is it perfect? No, but I think an aftermarket solution like this was never going to be perfect, and it works with the manual gearbox. So I'm super happy with this. Moving on to the next job. Another very small and easy thing, but when I got my B2300, it did not come with any floor mats. So I just installed some of these very, very cheap and simple Amazon Basics cut-to-fit floor mats. They actually fit really well. I think they fit really well. I did have to cut them and trim them a little bit to size and make a little relief cut there in the corner so they fit really well. But I think they actually came out pretty good. That's the driver's side, and I'll show you the passenger side as well, because I think the passenger side came out even better, actually. Passenger side looks really good, if you ask me. Look at that fitment. The fitment's pretty good, just with a little bit of trimming, and they came out really good. There is a set of Husky liners available for the Ford Ranger Mazda B2300, but they're like $80 or $90, and these ones are $20, and this is a work truck which is 23 years old, so I think it's probably makes sense buying the cheaper mats. Okay, on to the next. So as you can see, the bumpers and the black plastic bits on my Mazda B2300 are completely faded and really not looking very good at all. Lots and lots of sort of UV sun damage there. So I'm going to be hitting them all with some of this Mother's Back to Black plastic trim restorer and a microfiber cloth. And I'm going to give them a few coats, and I'll give you an update when I'm done. And here's a tiny update on the Back to Black progress. A few days later, you can see it has definitely made a difference. It has started to darken the plastics again. It's of course not like brand new. It's going to take a few coats and a few layers and a little bit of time to do that. But I'm definitely working on it, and I'm really happy with the progress so far. Okay, one more very small interior modification I've made is adding this. This is the Shosh Magic Mount. It is a MagSafe compatible mount for your phone. Fits really, really nicely here in the windshield of the B2300/Ranger. I would show you my phone attached to that, but I'm using my phone to record the video, so I can't. But this is a really, really nice high quality MagSafe mount. It gives you somewhere nice to put your phone out of the way so that you can use your navigation, use your phone for navigation and music and all that stuff, and keep it nicely out of the way so you don't have to touch it and get pulled over by the cops. So yeah, very, very nice quality mount, about 15 bucks. A little bit expensive, but I think it's worth it. It's a very, very nice one. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the next little interior job I've completed is installing my Garmin Mini 2 dash cam. This is the Garmin Mini. I really like this little dash cam, and I've got it with a hardwire kit with a micro USB cable, which this camera uses. It runs up here into the headliner, down the side here, and then goes into the fuse panel on the Ranger / Mazda B2300 right here. The hardwire kit is sort of just tucked into the gap there behind the dash, and I am using a fuse doubler here on the fuse for the radio, and it works just fine. Just a very quick note is that these 3 screws here, these 7mm bolts here, are not correct grounding points. They're actually going into a plastic fastener, so you can't use those to ground the hardwire kit. You've got to use one of these 2 big bolts here, which are going into the metal sort of back part of the dashboard. If you just hop onto one of those bolts there behind it, then you should be good, and your hardwire kit should be good to go. I always have a dash cam in all of my cars, and so now I've got it set up nicely in the Ranger / Mazda B2300. Okay, on to the next. Okay, small update on the dash cam installation. You may have seen in that previous clip I used fuse number 29 here to double for the dash cam hardwire kit. Turns out that fuse there is actually not switched with the ignition, and that is powered 24/7. So if you want your dash cam to be always powered, then you can use that fuse. That works great. But in my case, I do want it to be switched with the ignition key. So I am using this fuse, number 2, which is the instrument cluster. I'm using that one, and that one is switched with the ignition. Another option would be to use fuse 20, which is something else to do with the radio. That one is also switched with the ignition, but the problem is with this one, if I install the doubling kit here, I can't install the cover on because it hits the plastic here. So I think fuse 2 is a good option if you want your dash cam to be switched. Okay, so switching that over, and it works just fine. On to the next. Okay, so the last modification I'm going to wrap up this video with is the keys. So when I first got my Mazda truck, it came with one single factory Mazda key, and the second key had been lost by the previous owner or lost to time. So I definitely wanted more than one key. So what I did is I went onto Amazon and I bought a pair of these. These are the H84 keys. You can find these on Amazon. I think I paid like $12 for 2 of these keys, and these keys do have the transponder chip in them. And then after that, I went to my local locksmith and I got them cut to the correct key to match the original factory key. And then what I did is I bought the OBD2 adapter, so the USB to OBD adapter for the car. And I also got my laptop and downloaded the 4Scan software onto there. And I programmed the 2 new keys to make myself have 3 total keys for my Mazda B2300. There are lots of videos on that topic. I'll link one down in the description. It's a little bit complicated and a little bit for the, if you're not really confident and you're not really confident in using the software and doing that, it's a little bit high risk. So I'd definitely do that with at your own risk. But I did manage to get it work, and now I have 3 functioning keys for the Mazda. Okay, YouTube, that wraps up my initial little video on some of the modifications I've been doing to my Mazda B2300. There are lots more jobs to do and lots more things I'm going to modify on the truck, but that's the first installment, and I hope you'll join me on this little journey as we continue to make this truck even better. Please consider liking the video and subscribing if you want to see more stuff like that, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.